Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Xa Talk Show. Hello. So today we are going to code some Emac Lisp coding, randomish. Okay. So ask your questions, and we are going to unbox this new camera I got. This is MOKOSE. Unbox it, and some Emac Lisp coding, and some random chat. Okay. Hello guys, good morning everyone. So let's begin. Good morning Huang, good morning Hank. My keyboards, Glove 80, fantastic. Ultimate hacking keyboard, fantastic. This is Nulia trackball. Now this is my main input mousing device, fantastic. And this is Logitech G502. The best thing about this is the spin wheel. Okay, so that's my devices. And don't forget, I'm still going to cover this. This is Svalbard, Svalboard. Good morning, Mark Jefferson, Svalbard. Okay, so you have to wait. So let's begin. Okay, so why don't we unbox this thing? Okay, MOKOSE. Let me show you what that is. So switch camera so you can see my screen. Yes. So go to my email. You see, I'm switching window without Alt X, just by fantastic. I talked about this 2 videos ago. So showing browser, MOKOSE camera. So this one. The purpose of this camera is so that you can, I can put it up here so you can see my keyboard clearly. Right now you cannot. So you see this lousy webcam. I mean Logitech, it's got problem focusing and stuff. So anyway, so let's unbox this. Okay. This, I think it's $130. If you really want a good camera, they cost like 500, 600. It's hard to shop for one because I really want, I don't need huge megapixels. I just want a simple, like I would say $200 camera that allows me to have clear view, sharp view of my keyboard. As for my face, it doesn't matter much. But if there are thousands of keyboard reviewers on Amazon, and they all have crispy videos. And so I try to look at what camera they use. They are all like fucking $600, $700. Okay, so the MOKOSE camera is, what they call industrial camera. So, it's not a kind of industrial. So you got, what is this? So this is a fake USB code. USB, the standard connection. MOKOSE device. Okay, MOKOSE C100 manual. Let's see. Okay, this looks like this is a used. I mean, this is not, bad omen. Yeah, so it looks like that. So I've been looking at Amazon reviews, but well. So Amazon reviews, and they have a lot fake reviews. So, oh, it's a bit heavy. Let's see. I can twist this off. So this is a fixed focus camera. Oh, okay. So you got, so this is a fixed focus camera. So you plug USB here or HDMI. You see, this is a problem with the Logitech 920 something. So it doesn't, it doesn't have a viewfinder or any screen there. And so this thing, you just twist it on. What is this? So the lens. So supposedly you can switch the lens, for the photographers. Photographers are the most low-level idiots. You go to YouTube, there are tons of them. Like, it's like the lowest level thing. It's like a gym workout or diet. What my diet is meat or no meat or eggs. The lowest level bottom of society. Then you have camera photographers. They will talk about, what lens is this. You need to switch lens or single reflective lens or whatnot. Idiots, extreme. There's tons of it for like 15 years by now. So anyway, this is a fixed focus camera, so it's not autofocus. You see, one problem with autofocus is that they constantly, swoosh in and out. Okay, you cannot see it clearly. This is stupid Logitech. Oh, there it is. So anyway, you're supposed to twist this for focus, shutter speed, or whatever. I have read a ton about photography, but if you don't really have a good camera, you really don't get into it. Like programming, if you want to do programming, just by reading it doesn't do you any good, or mathematics. So you actually, if you want to learn programming, you really have to get hands-on. So likewise. So anyway, and on the other side, you have the power plug-in and a memory card. Okay, so I'm gonna stick this into here, hopefully. So next time, my video will have great, I hope so, great videos. Comments and questions. Let's see. Hello, Matty. Hey, Ksa, good to see you. Good to see you guys. Crispy, Mister. You are already very crispy. Not really. So they got a remote control. So also, by the way, I've been watching, I discovered Chatterbait. Jesus. 1 million girls, beautiful girls, young girls, spreading their legs. So Chatterbait, so that's one thing. That's the thing most of you guys are, the first thing, that's what you guys think about. But when I look at Chatterbait, there's lots of other things to look into. You look, for example, camera. I want to buy a camera. So what all these girls are using, and you observe, how they have autofocus or not. They most of them are so sharp. Anyway, so, and I suppose I suppose half of them are using good cameras, like costing $500-600. Anyway, okay, that's about that. This unboxing of this MOKOSE thing. Okay, we'll see how it goes. So you are saying my camera video is already crisp? Not really, because you see it's not sharp really. Anyway, let's get to what else. So you ask questions, I answer. Okay, otherwise I'm gonna start to code Emac Lisp. Okay, so here is MOKOSE camera. I have blog on my, so here is my research into camera, since 2 years ago. You spend hours and hours, watching YouTube. There are 10,000 YouTube camera reviews, hours and hours. And anyway, you see, if you have money, then you don't worry about it, you see. But if you don't have money, you kind of, you don't want to return it. Anyway, so cameras, what else? Okay, so last talk show, we talked about, last talk show is the Wolfram language animation generator and geometry, plane curves, fantastic. Now, I'm here to tell you, the code is now on GitHub. Okay, so you go to Xali GitHub, just search for it. Let's do it here. Okay, Xali GitHub. And go to Xali GitHub. The code is right there. Let's turn on JavaScript so that Google knows where you are, what you do. There it is. And the Xafly keys, Wolfram mod, plane curve plot. So those are fantastic packages. Okay. Repositories. I just added this yesterday. In fact, I added two of them. But anyway, so here it is, plane curve generators, and let me show you here. fantastic. Okay, so you can get a code free. Fantastic. All these animations. You see, this is like the radar, the sonar radar of submarine. In order to appreciate this, you need to know polar equations. Okay, mathematics. Whenever I see, spaceship or technology or quantum computers, I consider, that's what I do. Because you have to know all this code. There's like millions of people's contribution made all this possible. So anyway, so this package is now on GitHub free. Okay, now close this, close it. Wolfram language, Wolfram desktop. Okay, so Emac Lisp next. Can you understand Ebonics? I know what that word means. That word is, the black community created that word, Ebonics, to refer to black people. Black people in America is quite controversial. Since they talk about it forever. Since 30 years ago. So this first, for Ebonics, for example, one of the things about the naming. How do you call black people? What is the proper way? So some, the most natural is just black people, because their skin is black. Okay, there's no bad connotation whatsoever. It's just black people and white people and yellow people. Okay, red skin is the American Indians. That's the natural reference. But then they created the politicians. A lot of this involving politics. Trying to gain power and tactics. Like the grifter. Grifting scam. So anyway, they decided. Some people decided. We need to. Usually it's white people. Because the white people, they control. Usually they are the power in America. So they created, typically or usually beginning in academia. Okay, so some professor created, we should call them African Americans. African Americans. And then there's Ebonics, I believe, because how do I know? Because I look up words. I have interest in vocabulary. So I talked about this before. So you can go to Wordy English blog and you have English vocabulary, 5,000 words of English. Pariah, bestowed, insidious, restive, aggrandize, misanthropy. Now this one is popular today in the past 10 years. Nefarious. So I log words, I study words. That's how I learned English since 1986. So then there's GRE words, unflappable, anathema, okay, let's say random order, maudlin, comeuppance, vernacular. So Ebonics is kind of vernacular, okay, you could say, technically, I don't know. Estimate, estimable, okay, so each one has a, example. When I read it, that's my habit. Every time you read whatever, when you see a word you don't know, you write it down. So I've been doing this since 1986. That's how I learned English. The way I learned English is very inefficient. I told this story before, like 3 or 4 years ago, when I first started to do YouTube. But let me tell it again, since it's long ago. So the way I learned English is like my mindset is like the brute force nerd, like the brute force. To learn a language, all you have to know is just the vocabulary, just know every word. So when I started to learn English around 1986, my methodology, my thinking is that I'm just going to brute force. I'm gonna know more words than any English professors by simply just look up every word in a dictionary and memorize it. That's literally how I learned English. So in the first in the first 20 years, when I was younger, the first 20 years of my life, every day I look up, at least in the first 10 years, I look up dictionaries. Back then, you don't have digital, there's no internet. So you have a thick, I got the thick English to Chinese dictionary. I look up more than 100 times a day, 100 words, So to the point that pick any English word, for example, milieu, I can open the dictionary right on that page 95% of the time. That's this thick. In fact, I have a documentation of it, documentary, okay? How to increase your vocabulary. So there is this digital dictionary. When it first came out in 1988, I bought it because I'm a big obsessive dictionary fan and encyclopedia. I talked about this quite a few times in my live stream. So 1998, when this digital dictionary came out, I bought it right away. I think it's $300. I was working in a bakery. And so here is the English Chinese dictionary. So that's about this, basically that's the biggest one at the time, 1986. This one is from Taiwan, Far East English Chinese Dictionary, the biggest one. So I can open it like any word. I do it once right on the page. So that's how I learned English, okay? So back to Ebonics. So Ebonics. Question, do you consider yourself American? I am American, okay? I'm an American citizen, and also all my life is, all my adult life, since when I was 16. Okay, when I was 16, I was in Canada, but since 1989, I live in California, basically, where I am today. So all my adult, so do I consider myself American? I am American. It's funny. So American, like this is about racial issue, because you don't, if when you are not a white man, there's this, even if you are American, but the white people, they don't treat you exactly. There's a difference, okay? Anyway, maybe we shouldn't get into that. Chick-ching Quist Amiel. Is that Christ or Quist? Thank you. 20 pounds, British pounds, heavy. Thank you. Ebonics, okay. Ebonics, okay. So let's look up dictionary, key press. Emacs, the power of Emacs. Jung, jung, jung. And there it is, Ebonics. And so let's see what the proper definition, okay. Ebonics. Now, used with singular verb, okay. Any of the non-standard varieties of English spoken by African Americans. Oh, okay. Oh, that's technically what it means, but I thought it just refers to black people. I'm pretty sure there's also that meaning here. So, Black English, okay. Linguistics, U.S. another name for African American Vernacular English, okay. It's a silly name. Okay, so what now? So what is this thesaurus? Okay, so anyway, so let's look up brave. Let's see what brave say. Ebonics word English. A portmanteau of words. Ebony and phonetics is a term that was originally intended to refer to the language of all people descended from African descent, particularly in West Africa, the Caribbean, and North America. The term Ebonics was created in 1973. Now, it's interesting. Let's see the origin of the word. 1973 by a group of black scholars, who disproved of the negative terms being used to describe this type of language. Okay, since the 1996 controversy over its use by the Oakland School Board, yeah, controversy, like every day in USA, it's Eonics has primarily been used to refer to the sociolect African American English, yeah, a dialect distinctively different from standard American English. Okay. Ebonics. Well, okay, that's that. Hank says, you didn't cover binary lambda calculus yet. Have you heard of it? No, I haven't heard of it, but I think I saw you post a video about it. But I think it's pretty much bullshit. It's one of the niche, like, not that important. I mean, it's that's my guess. Okay, I can tell you pretty sure that's probably what that is. It's kind of unimportant or niche subject. So let's see, binary lambda calculus. What is this? Let's see. So binary combinatorial logic. Binary combinatorial logic is a computer programming language that uses binary terms. Okay, maybe that's not what you're talking about. So you see, okay, Hacker News, binary lambda calculus. Yeah. Usually my reaction to this is ignore it immediately, but I'm reading it only because you are asking the question. Okay, so let me tell you what I think. So basically it's just this website, basically apparently this website made it, popular online. Binary lambda calculus, because you see no other reference. It's like some Joe blog, some Zoomer idiots started to talk about this, and everyone's binary lambda calculus. Like there's nothing. If you typically if you search for some established or important topics such as calculus or even type theory, for example, then you see lots of professors or papers, esoteric. Then you can tell that is really important. Meanwhile, this online, website, the so-called, media, the social network, the Zoomers, beginning with the late Malayan Jen, fuckheads. They started this, clickbait, drama, so your brain, every whatever you see every day is just more like 90% is just bullshit. Okay, binary lambda calculus. do you even know what lambda calculus is? So okay, but let's look at what it is. Okay, so yeah, so let's open a few websites. So let's see. Okay, binary lambda calculus background, binary IO delimited versus undelimited, universality lambda encoding, complexity correctly, theorems concretely. Okay, who is this guy? Okay, binary lambda calculus is a minimal, pure functional programming language invented by John Trump. Oh, this himself. That's his website, trump.github.io, John Trump in 2004. So it's like a new kid in the block based on binary encoding of the untyped lambda calculus in the Rugin index notation. Okay, what the fuck that is? Binary encoding. Okay, so are they links? Binary encoding represent text. Okay, binary encoding. So a bunch of jargons. Pure functional programming language. What? So it's just a programming language. If it's just a programming language, it's like even more. You just completely ignore it. I thought it's maybe some niche computer science, theoretical computer science, but it's just a programming language. Background: VLC is designed to provide a very simple and elegant, concrete definition of descriptional complexity. Okay, so let me tell you, just random. I don't know what this is. Okay, but I can tell you how I feel. So it says it's a binary lambda calculus is designed. It's designed to provide a very simple and elegant, concrete definition of, okay, what is it? It's providing a concrete definition of descriptional complexity, okay, and parenthesis Kolmogorov complexity, okay. Now, what I can tell you is that Kolmogorov complexity will take you a PhD, like 10 years, at least 4 years, to actually know what it is, this Kolmogorov complexity, okay? So anyone who wanna talk about, this binary lambda calculus, first of all, you gotta understand this, and to really understand this, to be able to talk about this jargon in a meaningful way, will take you 4 years. Well, I mean like a PhD, okay? So back to let's go back. So it's trying to, give a elegant, concrete definition of descriptional complexity, okay, of that. Roughly speaking, the complexity of an object is the length of its shortest description. To make this precise, we take this blah 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 blah. Basically useless, okay? That's my opinion. The binary lambda calculus is a useless shit relatively, okay, not absolutely, relatively useless thing that is made popular by the online idiots. You read Hank, you read the Hacker News or this random math too much. Does that? Well, kind of, So I mean, math. There's a lot of math. You'll take a person, so many 10 years or 20 years. So there are some, so many branch of math, and part of it is computer science, right? So you want to know, if you are not a specialist, okay? Now, if you are already a specialist, then you know what you're doing, because it takes, 5 years, 10 years to be a specialist, okay? But you are average person, like most of my viewers, so you are average person. If you are average person, you have to know, so if you are average, you are interested in sciences, math, or you want to know what they are as a, just, like general knowledge. Maybe you are not a programmer, you are not a, mathematician, but still, you have some interest, a general education, right? So in that case, you want to know what's important, the established, what are topology, what is calculus doing exactly, what is linear algebra, what's the difference between algebra and calculus, and what's the linear algebra, why is it linear? That's what you want to understand, the established in other words, mainstream, okay, mainstream science. That's what you want to get a overview. You want to know, so that's a good thing. You want to understand what they are. What you don't want to do, that would be waste your time, is like following this online thing, like the esoteric niche. Oh, new thing, this is gonna change the world. Quantum mechanics, quantum computation. Blah, 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 those. Most of the online talking are these things. It's random shit, and 90% of the time they don't know what they're talking about. They just bullshit. So anyway, so what is this? But it's not. I'm not saying they are just false. This, as far as so far I see it, binary lambda calculus, it's it looks like it's just a programming language. There's tons of esoteric, useless programming languages. But does that mean they are useless? Well, not really. They are useful to some people, to some researchers, right? So, but for average people, this is a waste of time. Okay. And for me, it is a waste of time for me too, because two aspects. For the practical aspect, there's a lot of other programming languages I want to learn more. For example, F#, okay, even Haskell, I would want to know more, far more than this binary lambda calculus. Okay, Haskell, F#, and I also would like to know some Julia if I have time, but I don't have time. Actually, the time I want to know is the proof theory. COG, that's another programming language. That's practical aspect. So these programming languages I can learn. And I'm old, so my years are unlike you young guys. You young guys have time to chat random, and you can explore. And part of the exploration is online, right? So it's not a bad thing to read about this. But for me, I'm old, so I don't have much time. So there's only these things I want to learn, and that's on the practical side. On the theoretical side, computer science, there's the combinatory, the combinators, Turing machine, and provability, proof theory, type theory. That I really want to know. Okay, I've been trying to learn those, and also machine learning. Today's these chatbots. Today these wonderful, quite helpful chatbots. The neural networks. So there's a lot to learn. So this is my context. So you asked me what it is. This is my context. It's not useful to me, and I don't think it's useful for most of you. Okay, so that's about that. Random chat today. I think maybe that's it. I mean, what else? What else? Ask questions, okay? Post your questions. Let's see. What is this talk show? Let's put the binary lambda calculus here. Okay, so let's see what else. Mouse wheel with middle finger or index finger. That depends on you. Okay, so so let's look at the mouse. So the mouse wheel, do you use middle finger or index finger? Usually I use index finger. Okay, so but mouse wheel usually I use the middle finger. Exactly. Where? Here. Okay, so for the wheel, yeah, sometimes I do use index finger. Okay, that's up to you. I don't think there's there's one answer to that. But now I love this trackball though. Next question. So is there any memorable quote you want on your tomb headstone? Yeah, that's an interesting question. One of my motto I used to be when I was younger, when I was you guys' age. I think, I'm not too sure how old you are, 20 something, Chris. But when I was younger, I have my life is not good. Okay. Because parents, bad parents, bad family is fucked up. So one of my motto when I was younger is 5 years will be passed sooner or later. Okay, 5 years will be passed sooner or later. And somehow that motto is always encouraging to me, because 5 years will be passed sooner or later. So whatever your issue, your problem right now, it'll be passing. Back then this motto was very useful to me. So, Ching, thank you. How many languages have you studied? You mean human languages or programming languages? And I need to find wife before that. Yes, you do, Huang. you you need to stop posting gay and random shit. Find your wife. Well, actually, maybe you'll find your wife in your, heavy metal parties. You will, yeah. For Windows, what program you use for autoclick? I saw your question on Discord, but I don't. On Windows, I don't use any extra program to autoclick, so I simply use the Windows Hoover to activate window. So, so Windows don't have autoclick. Okay, human. Oh, human languages. So I know Chinese, of course. Chinese is my native language. What's your native tongue? Well, my native tongue is body language. Okay, so but Chinese, okay, 中文，你说中文吗？你是谁呀？你这个人 Mark Jefferson，你是谁？So Chinese I speak, and of course English. And when I was living in Montreal, and Montreal, Canada, in 1986 to 1989, they speak French there, French and English. So, but I didn't learn French, but I'm kind of, I somewhat familiar with the, French sounding. And before that, in Paraguay, South America, and Central America for about a year. So I also have some affinity with Spanish. So actually, I did learn some Spanish when I was, back there around age 15, 16. I started just like the way I learned English. Just learn words, write down vocabulary every day. So I know some Spanish, but it's a long time ago. Like I haven't. So I don't really know Spanish. Am I on Windows 11 yet? No, I'm not, because the Windows the Windows scum. Let's talk about Windows, okay? Comp. So let's go to. So wait, how long have I been talking? 40 minutes. Okay, so let's random chat. Windows. Am I on Windows? No. Let's see. Just go to Xali. Windows sucks. Search for it. Windows sucks. And why Windows sucks? So you have a collection of my articles, on about 20 articles on why Windows sucks. Windows sucks in every way. So, by the way, for you Linux people, you Linux idiots, Linux sucks more. Okay. I know many of the Linux idiots, they will be gleeful. Yes, Windows sucks so bad, but Linux is more extreme fuckheads. Why? Because Windows is a commercial entity. It's one of the biggest commercial entity. So obviously they are incompetent, because their goal is not to be competent. Their goal is just suck your money. As soon as they get all your money, they don't really care. Okay, so you wanna blame Windows? I mean, it's commercial entity. Just like today, Google has gone. Many of the big powerful company gone bad. Usually when they become successful, or even successful people. Like one day, if I become, I have 10 million, 5 million followers, my nature will probably not be the same. Okay. I'll become just like one of these idiots online, these YouTubers. So Windows sucks, obviously, because they are a commercial entity. Well, actually, not just because commercial, because Apple is truly the best, okay? Apple design, Steve Jobs, okay? Apple design, everything is great. In generally speaking. Sometimes Apple makes mistakes, okay? But Linux, the Linux with the Linux fuckheads and idiots, extreme. The Linux people, you see, it's free and open source. So, in theory, it's great. What so including me, I've been in open source. I've been doing open source for 20 plus years, right? So in theory, so you don't have the the corporate structure the incompetence, the paperwork, so you can just create great things, but it doesn't happen. Instead, you have just instead you just have open source fanatics. While when you install Linux, this doesn't work, USB doesn't work, wireless doesn't work. You go to Stack Overflow, Ubuntu whatever flow, 1,000 pages. That's 10 years old. Then you nerd. You have to run this command, and then fuck Linux. Okay, that's the situation. It would be great. It would be wonderful. Imagine how wonderful it is. Free. You don't have to pay. Download operating system, and there's no like when you do something, someone check. Xia is looking at this website. Getting into your pants like Google and Facebook and Microsoft is doing, right? So you want freedom, you want privacy, right? Linux is great, but instead what you get is one bunch idiot. Nothing work. Half of the time things don't work. You have to spend hours to get it to work, and if you ask the question, then one bunch of Linux fuckheads, Linux and Unix fuckheads, these people, they tell you, you should do it that way. They don't really answer your question. Instead, why don't you open source? Why don't you contribute? It's just like trash. Linux, very sad story. Then it got took over by Google and Microsoft. The Linux, like Free Software Foundation, the Richard Stallman, is kind of dead. The money, the funding for all Linux, for all open source is from Google and Microsoft, and they become so extremely corrupt. They become so corrupt that, and they made programmers. If you are a programmer like me, you cannot work by yourself. You cannot make money because there are 1 million open source on GitHub that's controlled by YouTube, by Google. They all work for Google, they make a lot of money. By day they work for Google. By night they sing the songs of open source. So whatever I do, I cannot compete, and they are all free. So who is gonna buy? I've been working on Emacs for 20 years. Who pays me? Like nobody. That's why it's very sad. However, the Linux people, they got brainwashed. They don't know. They open source fanatics. Every day they still say, you need to open source this. You need to open source. And GitHub now is bad. You need to switch to GitLab or whatever the new thing. It comes in cycles. Until Microsoft say, hey GitLab, I'll give you 10 million. You belong to me. We'll do it. Yeah, they will do it right away. Then all these fuckheads, the Linux open source fuckheads, GitLab, I'm switch to another new thing. This cycle repeats. So I've been talking, ranting about open source in a lot of my videos, but it's like useless. Anyway, that's an old thing. Hank says no. I mean, it's not all bad. Okay, don't say that, Hank. Of course, Linux is still very useful. For example, someone who asked me about Windows 11. You asked me, right? Because Windows. Let's go back to Windows. Windows sucks so bad. It becomes basically adware. So they tell me that, for example, like I'm doing something, right? Like, can you see my screen? I'm typing something, and suddenly, boom, this thing popped up. A new journey with Windows. Dear Xali, we're gonna take you to a new journey, but you gotta pay. Your Windows 10 is gonna be dead soon, so you have to pay us. It popped up while I'm doing something. It's been popping up, like it happened just yesterday too. Yesterday, or was it today? It just pop up, and every time you do something, like bing, Microsoft Edge. Please use Microsoft Edge. Did you know that Microsoft Edge can also do this? We also monitor what you do, but by the way, we also do this. Fuck Microsoft. So this is when I'm gonna switch to Linux, but even though I despise these Linux fuckheads, these idiots, extreme, but compared to Windows, this situation, I'm gonna switch to Linux. But it's not so easy because I'm not like you guys. Like, you don't have nothing on your computer. I have 30 years, 3 decades of stuff. I need to migrate. I need to buy a new computer. I don't have money. Then you have to back up. Then you have to move. You have to transfer files. You have to make sure they remain intact. So I did that. Like, I switched from Mac to Windows in 2009, then to Linux in 2012. So now I have experience about switching. So these days I don't use any software that creates its own kind of format. All my files, photos, whatever, I can move to any operating system right away without having to worry about file name incompatibility. There's a lot of issues. I have like tens of articles about it. Because, for example, when you move, there's a lot of file name issues, file name encoding. For example, I'm Chinese, so sometimes you have Chinese file names. And when you switch to Linux or Microsoft, boom, all those file names becomes gibberish. That's one of the issues. Not just Chinese, but also they have sometimes Unicode characters. So there's a lot issues. Anyway, so random talking. Yeah. So Linux. So Windows is telling me that my machine is not good enough to switch to Windows 11, which is false. Which is one of the scum tactics Windows do. Let me show you. Okay. So you see this. Where do we go? Update and security, is that there? Yeah. This PC doesn't currently meet the minimum system requirements to run Windows 11. That's false. Okay, that's a scum. They want you to buy a new computer. That's the purpose of Windows 11 anyway. Okay, they want you to buy a new computer. They benefit because Microsoft, Windows is bundled with computers, so every time you buy a computer, they make money. Then PC health check, so scum, this scum. So that is why I haven't upgraded to Windows 11. But also I know from reading Windows 11 is not, it's like crap, it's the same thing, same crap. There's no, basically little to no improvements. It's just same, like if you check out my articles, each one of them, it's the same on Windows 11. Like incredible. For example, let me show you something. Okay, I mean, well, anyway, there's a lot, like endless. Yeah, you bought a new PC. Yeah. Okay, anything else? Maybe that's it for today. Okay, let's screw Emac Lisp coding then. No Emac Lisp coding for today. Thank you, Chris. Anything else? You see this cup? U.S. Army War College. By the way, this is a nice quality cup, heavy, very heavy. And these words are carved in. This is actually carved in, very heavy cup. This cup is from my neighbors. So sooner or later, I'm gonna switch to Linux on this machine. I also have a Mac, but like I said, switching is not that easy. I mean, it may be easy for you guys because you guys don't have anything, but I have lots of stuff. So, so, maybe I'll switch to the Mac, or, on this machine I'll switch to Windows. But that will be until Windows 10 become dead. You can't trust them. And anyway, what else? Let's see. So I'm going to, this new camera I'm gonna install. Then I'm gonna, do, maybe the SVA board. Then I've been thinking I really want to go into the Odyssey, because YouTube, so I can stream on Odyssey. Let's see, Odyssey Xali. Actually, so there it is, Odyssey Xali, my website. I mean, my account on Odyssey. So maybe I'll stream on Odyssey about political stuff, because I don't want to talk about political, because YouTube scum, they're gonna censor you. They're gonna kill your account. So that's it for today. Anything else? Thank you for your service. Thank you, Mark. Lots of happening in politics because, as you guys know, it's big news in the past 4 days, 3 days ago. And, it's pretty sad reading this, pretty sad, big corruption. So, I'm not gonna talk about it. So, maybe I'll start I'll do a live stream. I really want to do a live stream on Odyssey. So I'll tell you guys, you'll see it on my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, and also follow me on XR Discord. You can find all these links in just xali.info. Okay, just go to my website, xali.org, go to xali.info, and then you can see my YouTube, my Twitter, my Discord, and Odyssey. So I'll be announcing anything news there. Bye guys. Bye guys. Yeah, Rumble is good. Oh, this you Lambda guy. Yeah, I know. I recognize you on the GitLab is on sale. It's for sale now. Yeah. What's the new one? I remember like this year there's another, like a new one after GitLab, and all the all the open source fanatics are switching to it. It's like, oh, we need to switch. The fucking idiots. This mostly these fanatics are young people. Like you like after a few years, then they'll be bought out too. They themselves, if Microsoft says, I'll give you 10,000, or 100,000, you shut up. You sell for Microsoft. They all these open source fanatics, they'll do it right away, because they don't really understand nothing. They just think, oh yeah, open source is a great ideology until someone pay them. They become the very corrupt people that they are opposed to, or they work for Microsoft. They got hired by Microsoft or Google. Jupiter says, are some of your Twitter tweets auto-generated by scripts? No, everything is manual. Every my tweets, my posts, whatever, is all manual. I'm a manual guy. Every HTML tag, the 10,000 HTML pages I have on sali.org, sali.info are all manually created with love, okay? With okay. Every tag is manually created. I don't auto shit. Okay, bye for real. Bye. Sponsor me. You can always pay me. Go to my website. You'll find my links for PayPal, Patreon. Okay, that's the most important thing.